Digicom Weekly Growth Marketing Podcast.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning into our growth marketing podcast this week. I have one of my best friends, Theodora. I call her Dora Bora, so it's weird for me to say Theodora. Dora jumping on call. Dora has been building the French Workshop. It's a bakery across Long Island in New York, and she's done a phenomenal job. I'm super proud of her. Dora, thanks for jumping on our podcast.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for having me. I'm so super excited. I love you. Best friend. So proud of each other. So proud of you. So thank you very much for having me.
I love you too, of course. Dora, you've been, plugging away for years building the French Workshop, and there's so many different components to it. But just before we jump into all of that, could you just give us, a little bit background about yourself and some career highlights, and then let's chat about the French Workshop?
Sure. So I have been working in food industry from very young age, family business. I was that kid filling ketchup bottles at 8 years old. Fast forward, that was me. Fast forward, I studied international business and marketing at Hofstra, and was continuing to work with my family in various food endeavors. I left that for about 5 years and I worked in healthcare. I worked at NYU Langone and started from the bottom and then worked in corporate, then left that to come and work on the French Workshop.
Amazing. And, when I know, the conversations as you were going back and forth to make the jump to get out of corporate to start the first store, and, all these years later, that first store was an absolute success and hit. Tell us a little bit about that journey from store 1 to store 5 now.
Yeah, we're working on 5, 6, and 7. So, it's wild. But so as anything new, food business, new concept, the beginning was tough. We opened our first shop in Bayside, Queens, December of 2016. So basically 2017. And it was a completely new concept, new to the market. Bell Boulevard was not what it is now. So it was such a learning curve in what the market needed and really listening to what the customers wanted. And I think the French Workshop now is different and has evolved beautifully into what the customer needs, really. It has been very reactive.
So how have you been listening to your customer needs, right? Because you get thousands of customers coming in through each store, not just one store, each store a day. And so, how are you listening? How are you evolving?
So a perfect example was when we first launched this company, we did not have sandwiches. We did not have a lunch. And it was such a gap in our day. And it was such a gap in the customer that how many customers are you really capturing on a daily basis to come get a cake? Not everyone has a birthday every day. Yes, we serve coffee. Yes, we serve croissants. But that gap in our day was, that was really reactive. When we started selling sandwiches and offering kind of a lunch, it is a lunch. Even for dinner, some people will come in nurses and doctors and residents and stuff, and they'll grab sandwiches at 7 p.m. So that was really one of our most successful things that we've adjusted, I would say. That was a big one. But really, and another big thing that we did is we started offering vegan and gluten-free options, and it's been wonderful.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, oftentimes with a lot of brands that we're working with, right? French Workshop, of course, being one of them, but other brands too, right? It's always about listening, and, we always come down to, hey, we have to understand what the data is telling us. And if the data is telling us, even through customer interactions, hey, bring XYZ products, or if there's a lull period in your business from this time to this time, and you have the ability to create, exceptional products and also sell them during that period, it can absolutely transform your business.
And I think it's really important for a business owner to keep their brand authentically theirs. So like you can't exactly listen to everything. Like, yeah, we have plenty of customers that want cannolis or rainbow cookies. Like that's not who we are. So we're not going to do that, right? We're not going to, or even we want Greek cookies. We are who we are and we try to accommodate, but we really stand true to who we are. And I think that just keeps the experience authentic. So that's also like a big thing we learned along the way, because if you start really just bending to everything, then you really dilute your brand.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, just being thoughtful also, in the feedback. So I guess the sandwiches are very like Parisian French based sandwiches, right? Makes yeah. Yeah.
Of course, we have some, influences, chicken pesto, whatever, but like, a croque madame, croque monsieur, like Monte Cristo, like we try to keep that theme throughout our product.
Amazing. So let's talk a little bit about your expansion and going from store 1 to store 2 to now store 6 and 7. What's that journey? What advice can you give business owners that are listening about how to kind of expand into these stores? Like, what are some challenges? What are some highlights? Some recommendations?
So definitely the problem that, everyone is facing globally is labor. It's very hard to attract labor, keep labor, turnover is crazy. I do think from store 1 to now, moving on to our journey, we started really focusing on our staff and on our people. And I think that's made a difference. I think we started creating career paths for people because, you don't just want that 18-year-old college kid. Yes, you do, right? You do need a seasonal worker, but you want someone that's going to be here, that's going to grow with your company and take pride in what they do. So I think really investing in your people, and caring about them genuinely has made a difference in our company. So I think that would be like our first thing. And then, so I'm not talking vaguely. I think another thing that has really helped us is like creating process. So I come from a world, again, family business, and I'm so thankful, but like my father has all this experience, but a lot of it is instinct. My father, my brothers, right? Like this is what they do. This is what we've all done. But at some point, it can't be instinct. It's got to be like, let's pull it down and put it on paper and quantify it so we can teach it. So I think that has been, instrumental in our growth. And it's an exercise that you have to keep doing. So we're actually gearing up to start selling franchises. We're going to franchise our concept and going through that exercise of training manuals to this detail and these operation manuals to these details of like, there's nothing left to question. There's nothing left of instinct. It feels right. No, it's a number, it's a target, it's a word, it's a color, so I think that is like instrumental in growth.
Yeah. People and process, right?
And simplify it. Like, it can't be this complicated thing. And if it is, okay, then you have work to do. Go back, sit down, pull it apart, make it simple. How can you make it simple? Again, you can't sacrifice your quality, because if you know the French workshop, that's really what we're about. But it's like our quality controls that we put in every shift, our temperatures, like it's black and white. You got to take these temperatures, these are the colors, these are the batches, like as simple as possible so that somebody can come in and get trained in a week, and work your floor.
Yeah. And, I know we've been talking a little bit over the years about like franchising and creating the process and like the books. And, but I think to expand to the level and how much like the French workshop has been growing, keeping things as simple as possible is important. And if one of the challenges which you've already highlighted is like, labor and staff and keeping keeping things simple and easy and building a career path all kind of ties together like hand in hand. And this is very much an equation of 1 + 1 = 3. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I know, with some of the work we've been doing together, it's about expanding like digital presence. And one thing that I'd like to call out is when, we got your Google Analytics hooked up and started running some ads, like the sheer volume of traffic, I was not expecting to see that. And it was incredible to see that, to the point where I called you like multiple times. I was like, and like you were in Greece, and I was like, this is nuts. And a lot of brands have to pay a lot of money in ad dollars to get to the type of traffic that the French workshop organically generates. And that's a testament to the product and the brand and the quality. And then, so the next part of it is like digital expansion and kind of what that looks like for the French workshop, what that looks like for you, especially with 2024 coming up.
I definitely think we're exploring. Digital is very new to us, and it's very exciting. We started selling gift cards online. Again, it's kind of like listening to your customer. So through the years, there's been so many customers that have called us, hey, like my friend lives in New York, my mom lives in New York, like I want to buy them this for Christmas or, whatever, Thanksgiving or their birthday. So like we're trying to be reactive. The same thing with like merch. We're trying to create merch to sell, coffee subscriptions online. Like we understand that the world is moving towards this digital space. So we want to start serving that. And that's really exciting for 24. We're working on a lot of new things internally that we can put on our digital space. We put our menu online. Our website was so outdated for a long time because I think we were focusing on just the brick and mortar of it all. But now it's really time to make the French workshop shine online as well and attract that national attention.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, just also from an engagement perspective, like the velocity, like that's the word velocity that you guys, the brand has. It's pretty amazing. Especially like seeing all of the communities that any ads are deployed in, like the amount of comments or likes or engagement, and like, thank you for building a store here. And, like just reading through that, it's pretty remarkable. And again, it's a huge testament to what you guys have been doing.
Thank you. It's also a wonderful way that we can talk to our clients every day. Like we have you guys, helped us launch a newsletter. So we have our weekly updates. Hey guys, like we have Toys for Tots now, come on in, or we're doing this, or we're doing cookies for Santa, or like, so it's a way that we're also talking to them every day. So even if they come once or twice a week, maybe we're just being able to communicate with them better. So it's been very helpful.
So, you've given, like business owners like a number of different recommendations and piece of advice, like, in terms of building stores or digital or people in process. Are there any other pieces of advice that you would give?
I would say you're only as good as your team. And I think it's really important to have a team around you, even if that's one person in the beginning, two. If you're going to invest anything, invest in a team and invest in, other things later, other software, whatever. Invest in that team and that support system because nobody can do it alone. And I think that is my biggest recommendation. Cause like we've been able to build this incredible team and we're still building. And it's like, in the beginning, we would do things maybe in a more old school way on Excel or on whatever it is because we didn't have the budget, right? We didn't have the budget for something else, but we had wonderful people that are still with us and are growing and learning with us. And now these people, fast forward all these years and we're building CRM systems or whatever. We're doing operations manuals and they've been with us from day one and they've really grown with us and they're part of our DNA. And I think they've really helped us become who we are, because nobody can really do it alone.
Yeah. I like that you said part of your DNA. That is amazing. And it's the reality, right? It is the truth. It's like, yeah, building businesses, it's tough. It's often lonely. And the people, and if the people like your team members are who make it like fun, right? What's one question you wished I asked you and that I didn't, and how would you answer it?
One question that you wish I wish you would have asked me. I don't know. Let me think. We talked about future plans.
It can be anything. Like sometimes, like some of our podcast guests will be like, "Oh, well, I wish you asked me about basketball," or like it can be anything.
No, I mean, I wish you had asked me about work-life balance. Yeah, a work-life balance. One thing I think, because we've talked about this many times. Of course, you have to be passionate about what you do and work like crazy and keep your head down and work. But I think, the importance of work-life balance is being able to take a break, maybe once a year, maybe once every 6 months, but take that break and remove yourself from what you're doing and come back with a fresh perspective, and your business will change. Your business will change. So I think that, and I'm not good at this, and that, but you come back with such fresh eyes, and your business really reaps those benefits.
Yeah, I agree. I am a huge proponent of like when you need your time off, you need to just like disconnect. And I mean, like, the reality of building a business is you're always on. There's no real off switch, right? Like, for me, for example, like I normally wake up at like 7:30, 8. Like yesterday I was up at like 5 a.m. checking through accounts because of Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And I just woke up excited. I'm like, let's go. And half the team is not awake because, and half the team is. And like, it's just like, why are you sending me messages so early in the morning? And it's just like, yeah, like now's the time for us, right? And then there are other times where it's like, oh man, I'm hitting a wall, and like you need to like direct your team and like inspire them. And like if you're not inspired, how are you going to inspire a team?
Yeah, true, very, very true. They feed off your energy.
Yeah, it's important, and yeah, I like it's quite remarkable. Well, thank you for jumping on and sharing all of this advice. Where can our listeners find you?
We have our website, www.frenchworkshop.com. We have Instagram, The French Workshop. We're on TikTok, Pinterest, French Workshop. Find us.
Well, thanks for jumping on.
Thank you so much for having me. This was very fun. Thank you.